One-time WWE Divas Champion. Three-time WWE Women's Champion. Slammy Award winner for Diva of the Year in 2008. WWE Hall of Fame Class of 2017. This woman is a trailblazer. This woman broke down more barriers than maybe any other woman in WWE history. This woman competed in both the men's and women's Royal Rumble matches. Today here on Love Wrestling, we are discussing one of the best WWE female talents in the history of our business. Ladies, gentlemen, my non-binary friends, my name is Josh Robinson. I'm here for Love Wrestling. Let's discuss the legacy of Beth Phoenix. When discussing the legacy of Beth Phoenix, the hardest part for me is where do I begin? There is so much that I need to try and condense down over the next 10 minutes. Beth Phoenix, like I said in the intro, is a trailblazer. Has probably broke down more barriers than we even realize within wrestling. If you listen to Beth Phoenix Hall of Fame speech in 2017, you know the type of person, the type of character, and the type of drive that Beth Phoenix possesses. It is truly inspiring what Beth Phoenix has done in this business. Let's be honest, she wasn't on WWE television for all that long in the grand scheme of things. She was on WWE television for around about 6 years. That's not a long time. Of course, that's not including her time now on NXT, but her 6 years actively within the ring. That's a very short time to do the amount that she did. I ran down her accolades in the intro of this video, and she did a lot. She was always a woman that was featured within WWE television, especially in a time, in the Divas era, when it's very easy to just have your programming be full of what they wanted at the time, which was your model-like characters like Kelly, etc., etc. Beth Phoenix was the counterpart for that. A lot of the time she was a heel throughout her time in WWE. I do think she is a better heel than babyface, but she did both. She was versatile, I guess you could say, within the WWE world. But Beth Phoenix did a lot of things. Let's take a little bit of a deep dive here into the actual legacy of Beth Phoenix. So as this story goes, this has been told a lot of times. Beth Phoenix, of course, originally debuted in 2006 as an ally for Trish Stratus. Now, of course, injuries happened in a match with Victoria, and she had to go and get her jaw fixed and then return to OVW. So really, it's like a debut before a debut. She debuted in 2006, went away, and then come back in 2007, winning a Divas Battle Royal at SummerSlam in 2007 and going on to face Candice Michelle for the WWE Women's Championship. Now, if you go back to 2007, of course, the said champion, Candice Michelle, was reigning atop of the division. She took the title from Melina a little earlier in 2007, and we fast forward our way into At No Mercy in October of 2007, and Beth Phoenix begins her first reign as WWE Women's Champion, holding it all throughout mid-2008. Beth Phoenix was the anti-diva in a lot of respects. She was beautiful, but she was muscular. She was more athletic. She was so many things of what the WWE were not promoting at the time. It was the perfect counterpart. She fit in so perfectly because she wasn't what was perceived as the quote-unquote diva. Beth Phoenix had everything within her power to be a great heel to all these babyface, quote-unquote, model-like performers. So Beth Phoenix would gain the Women's Championship and gain it another 2 times throughout her career at various stages. Of course, later we'll get to this, but she did win the WWE Divas Championship as well when that was the only active championship under the WWE umbrella for women. So Beth Phoenix in 2007, within just a few months of being on her official debut, I would count in 2007, she was Women's Champion. She was dominating the division. She was a wrestler. She was doing things that The only other woman that we really seen do these kind of things was Chyna, and Chyna did them, majority of her time she did wrestle men, but of course she was women's champion and stuff, and more on Chyna a little later, hint hint. But Beth Phoenix was doing things, in inspiration, taking kind of pages from Chyna's book and progressing them into what was 2007. So Beth Phoenix created the Glamazon character. It was the perfect embodiment of beauty and strength. It's something that we weren't really seeing from WWE divas at the time. So I almost think that Beth Phoenix, while incredibly talented worker, would have so much great work with a lot of the performers that we see today, and whatever it may be. But Beth Phoenix in her prime would almost be better where she was, because she was the opposite of what WWE was promoting. She got airtime because she was the perfect foil for all of these characters that we were seeing throughout the time. Beth Phoenix was doing a lot for women's wrestling in the mainstream world, hear me out, in the time of showing that wrestlers do prevail, female wrestlers do prevail, and they can get opportunities to really go at it on television. Now, when we look at some of the opponents for Beth Phoenix, we did mention Candice Michelle. Beth would work with people like Melina. They had a physical and only women's I Quit match at Extreme Rules One Night Stand in 2008. So, there's a lot of things that Beth did when women weren't really getting an opportunity. She was in the first ever women's tag team tables match along with Natalya and Lay Cool in 2010. She had multiple different stories with Mickie James, Kelly Kelly. She worked alongside Natty in what I think was probably her biggest storyline that she had throughout the summer of 2011, the Divas of Doom, the Sisters of Destruction. They were what I was talking about. They weren't the model-like diva that WWE was presenting. Of course, their foils were Kelly Kelly and Eve Torres, two women who were much more of the standard fit of what WWE were promoting. But in 2011, Beth Phoenix would gain her first and only WWE Divas Championship from Kelly Kelly, and kind of trying to quote-unquote break the Barbies of WWE, being that kind of anti-establishment kind of deal. The heels, but in a lot of wrestling fans' eyes, I believe I can pretty confidently say they were the baby faces of this role, because I feel like deep down, even though the divas at the time were known as the bathroom break, they were much less story and development and just involvement from fans. I think deep down fans wanted more for women. We always did. And I think this was kind of, again, there's been multiple times throughout the years where seeds have been planted. I think right here is a perfect example of that. Beth Phoenix would hold the Divas Championship for 206 days before losing it to Nikki Bella. That was her last title reign in 2012, and she would retire a little after. But let's rewind here a little bit. I wanted to touch on that and give that a little bit of love, but let's rewind here a little bit, because Beth did many things from 2006 until 2012 when she retired. She competed, for the second time in history, a woman competed in the Royal Rumble match. Beth Phoenix did it and eliminated the Great Khali in one of the more memorable spots, and one that's shown on many different highlight reels throughout WWE's history when talking about the Royal Rumble match. Beth Phoenix did that. She entered in 2010, lasting a few minutes before being eliminated by CM Punk. But Beth Phoenix did that. She's the first woman to enter both the men's and women's Royal Rumbles. We've seen Beth Phoenix come back a few times throughout the years in an in-ring capacity. 2018 Royal Rumble, the 2020 Royal Rumble. Of course, she competed at WrestleMania 35 in a Fatal 4-Way Tag Team Championship match alongside Natalya. She is now an NXT full-time commentator and has really come into her own on the commentary booth over on NXT. It's great to have that perspective from Beth Phoenix, of someone that's been in the ring, that's been there, that's done that, and to really lend a hand on NXT. Beth Phoenix is versatile. I didn't think that at just 36 years old, Beth Phoenix would be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. She was 36 years old at the time. That is crazy that she did so much so young. Went on, of course, to have two beautiful daughters with her husband, Adam Copeland, who, of course, we know as Edge. And a couple I never thought that we would see. Not something I envisioned happening, but Beth Phoenix and Edge. what cool parents to have for Lyric and Ruby, her daughters. So it's pretty cool that Beth Phoenix has been able to kind of gain a new love in wrestling through the commentary booth, and there's always that chance with Beth Phoenix sitting so close to the action that we're going to see Beth Phoenix in the ring again in the future. I don't think we've seen Beth Phoenix's last match, again being so young, not only being so young, being so physically able to still be in the ring. If you've seen Beth Phoenix on Twitter, you know that she is jacked. She's always in the gym. She's ready. She's ring ready, I guess you could say, at any time. And with Natty around all the time, there's always that potential for tag team championship glory. I think I would like to see that. Beth Phoenix is a trailblazer. She has done so much in the time that she was in WWE and the world of wrestling. There's so many things I could say about Beth Phoenix, all positive, all lovely things, one of my all-time favorites, and just an amazing talent who I still think has so much to give to the business in so many more capacities than just wrestling. She is so good. I just love her to bits. I am so thankful that I get to be able to talk about Beth today and all the other things I get to talk about here on The Legacy Of. That's going to do it for today's The Legacy Of. If you have a person I would like to cover here on the series, let me know in the comments below or on Twitter at JoshRobinson_00. You can follow Love Wrestling on Twitter at LoveWrestlingCA. All of the links for my stuff and Love Wrestling stuff will be in the description below. And leave a comment on what you think about Beth Phoenix and what I've covered here today on The Legacy Of. I'll always respond. Love Wrestling will always respond. We're always here to chat about all things professional wrestling. Of course, if you see that like button, that you can just smash it. Smash that like button. Let me know that I'm doing a good job here on The Legacy Of, and that big red subscribe if you haven't clicked it already. Click it and click that bell so you're getting notifications of when we're dropping new videos here on Love Wrestling. But that's going to do it here for me, friends. Until next Monday, I should say. Every single Monday, Legacy Of is dropping. So until next Monday, I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.